So how easy is it to be an antiques dealer? This is something I've been wanting to document for quite some time, and as we approach the end of 2025, I thought really now's the time to get this series underway. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be buying 1 or 2 lots from a local auction house each week, under £20 per lot, and then looking to sell them via an online auction platform. So for our first week, I've invested a whole £23.36 into 2 lots, which we've then subsequently been able to carve into 6 different lots, which are now live on the online auction platforms, and we'll see where we end with them. So the lots we are going to be starting our journey with are this plate and bowl from the 1851 Great Exhibition, which depicts Prince Albert and Queen Victoria, and I understand it's a wedding commemoration plate and bowl, and the 1851 Great Exhibition was basically a trade fair, so this is 175 years old, these 2 pieces. They were part of a lot with this Staffordshire cottage, which not something I'd usually sell, but hey, it came with it, so it's part of the challenge. This Staffordshire incense or pastel burner, again not something I'd usually sell, so we've got those 3, and then last but not least are these 2 Staffordshire miniature figurines, again Queen Victoria and the Prince of Wales. So we have 4 lots there. The second, or the final 2, is this Royal Dalton plate designed by Frank Brangwyn, which is the 1920s, 1930s piece. And then finally is this Art Deco hand-painted bowl, which I really like, by S. Hancock and Sons. So that gives us our 6 lots. The auctions are live. I'm starting them between £5 and £10. And as I say, the first, so we're currently at minus £23.36. We'll check back in every day to see how they're going, with the final update at the end of this week. So a quick update, the auctions have been live for just over a day and just under a day. So I have 3 finishing on one day, 3 finishing on the next day. So far across the 6 lots, we have 48 views and 8 watchers, I want to say, 8 watchers. So we'll see how we're doing tomorrow with an update on those. And we do have 1 bid, so the Queen Victoria plate and bowl set for the Great Exhibition has got a bid, so we're currently at £10. In historic auctions I've sold on eBay or similar, you do really want to get some early bids so that traction can build, and whilst you do get the last minute bidders, sort of getting some people bidding early on is really where you want to be. So quite pleased that we've got 1 bid already. Would love to see a few more bids on the others, so I will update tomorrow. So we're now at the end of the 48 and 72 hour periods on the auctions. Still getting interest, so we're now at 66 total views and 12 total watchers. And really good news, we've got another bid which has come in on the 2 little Victorian Staffordshire figures. So I'll be quite interested to see where they go, because it's really not something I've ever dealt with before. As I've mentioned in the last clip, it's good to see that we are starting to get some traction. So I've had a quick little tally up that if I was to retail all these items, none of them are particularly big ticket. I think the Royal Dalton plate's probably worth about £50. And I've worked out a total of about 130, but obviously that could take forever and a day to get them sold. So we'll check in again tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have had some more bids, some more views and some more watchers, and obviously time is ticking down to the end of the 7 days. On other news, I've done a really good pickup for next week's auction challenge today, so I look forward to sharing you that in the next video. So we're now at day 3 and day 4 for the auctions. Weirdly, we haven't got any more viewings, but we've picked up 2 more watchers, which is encouraging, on the Hancock bowl, which is one of my favourite items. We'll see what comes from there. And no more bids, so not been a particularly great day. Also, having a look through this weekend's auctions in my local area, there's nothing really suitable for next week's challenge. So it could mean that we have to get into art a little bit sooner than I thought. Fortunately, I've already got the next auction lot set up, but the following week could be interesting. So we'll see what next week's auctions bring to bring some stuff for us to be able to obviously continue in this challenge. But if not, we will definitely be looking at art, which will be interesting because that is not historically very good selling on auction online platforms. So we'll see what that brings. So slightly disappointing day today, but there's highs and lows obviously throughout this game. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. And I will update you hopefully with some positive news as we approach the end of our 7-day auctions. So we're on Thursday, or we're at Thursday night, and our auctions are ending on Saturday and Sunday. So in the last 48 and 72 hours. So viewings have jumped up today. So we've had a lot more views on the 6 auction lots, which is good to see. Watches are the same and bids are the same, but hopefully with the additional views, we'll get a little bit more traction and see what the weekend's final auctions will bring. So that'll be the last update before the end of the auctions. In our next clip, we'll see what Friday's activity brings us. Right, we're at 1 day before the first 3 auctions finish and 2 days before the second 3 auctions, and not a huge amount more activity, sadly, so it'll be really interesting to see how those first 3 do tomorrow. I have had one offer come through on the Dalton plate, which is at a starting price of £10, and an offer came through at £7. So again, something we see quite a lot on the eBay auctions, that there's a low starting figure, but people will make an offer lower than that anyway. So really curious to see how that will go. Obviously, if they don't sell, we're just going to put them on I'll buy it now, and that will sort of add into the total as we go. So I won't record tomorrow, so the next one's going to be after the second auction, so we can see how all 6 auctions finished, how we've done on the week, and sort of plan for the next set. Week 1 of our auction challenge has now finished. A little bit anticlimactic on auction day, however we have sold 2 items, which means we have 4 unsold. So with those, I'm just going to put them on a buy it now. If they sell, I'll add it to the total at some point. If not, that sadly is the name of the game. So we sold the Staffordshire figures, which had 3 bids, which quite surprised me actually, because I really didn't think there'd be any interest in those at all. And they got £10.72. We also sold the Great Exhibition plate and bowl. 2 bids on this one, but it was a little bit more popular, and that got £16.22. So if we have a look at our totals, across all of the 6 lots, we'd spent £23.36. We have sales of £26.94. So retirement is some way away, because we're currently in a profit of £3.58. But obviously this is a long game, so we have our next set of lots to sell next week. So please check in on the next video to see if we can further improve that total. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe so you can be kept up to date with all of our new content within the auction challenge.